my phone literally thought I was not me. It put my phone on stolen mode. Hey everyone, it's Aria, recovering perfectionist, queen of distraction, and I am back in more ways than one.
Look at us, we're walking. It's truly.
I'm back from my trip to Las Vegas with my cousins, and I have since crawled out of the deep, dark pit, the hole of sadness and overwhelm. The few weeks leading up to my trip, which I kind of took you guys along for that journey, I lost a lot of subscribers. A lot of people want to go to the internet to like escape from their problems, and I probably just brought up a lot of issues that people might not necessarily be wanting to watch as part of their entertainment. So I get it, but I just could not acknowledge what was going on in my life and like come here and do my videos and pretend like what was affecting me wasn't affecting me. So if you're still here, thank you for riding that wave with me. But yeah, I've talked about how I've just given so much of myself to my family. So much has changed in our family dynamic since my husband started working from home, which I do absolutely love, and since my son turned 2 and particularly stopped napping. And just over the course of the last few months, it feels like more and more has been put on my shoulders, and I was getting stretched very, very thin. Not to mention some potential health issues, but not anything crazy, which I will talk about later. Anyway, it's been a wild last month, 2, 3 even. And after a giant breakdown prior to leaving for my trip and a very long, heartfelt letter left to my husband prior to me leaving for my trip to Las Vegas, and then that break, I have come back. Things seem to be on the up and up, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about all that in my trip. So let's get into it. I'm going to start with day 1 of my trip, the day that I left. So my husband, thank goodness, had come home from his almost week-long trip to the dunes with his friends a day early. So instead of scrambling to try and get ready for a trip, because you gotta shower, you gotta wash your hair, you gotta shave your legs, you gotta do the self-tanner, and then if your husband isn't there, you got to figure out how to do your back. So that was a huge relief, having him able to help with the boys so I could get ready. I was actually able to get ready on time with a little bit of time to spare and pace around the house, just ready to leave. Got to the airport early, which was good because the security lines were crazy long. I've never had issues going through security, but it just makes my heart race. I'm like, I don't know if it's just the excitement of leaving, but then I'm also like, what if somebody put drugs in my pocket? What if I accidentally have a gun? So after the stress of making it through security, I got confused on the little trams, but ended up making it to the gate just in time, right as my class was boarding. That's that. I had also downloaded the extended version of the new Taylor Swift album, which, like, okay, you're gonna release an album, but then 2 hours later you're gonna be like, oh, just kidding, you have to pay more money for more songs, even though you just paid for half of these songs. That's a different issue for another day, but also probably not. I was going to listen to my album during the flight, but I didn't, because there was a gentleman from India who was visiting the Pacific Northwest for work, and his friends, coworkers, whatever, were going to Vegas and I think LA before they went home to India. So he and I chatted pretty much like the entire flight. Very nice. I've added some things to my bucket list, and I showed him what I could out the window, but I did not get to listen to the whole Taylor Swift album, which is okay. What happened after my flight? Okay, after my flight, I got off the plane. I left. I got in a cab, got to the hotel super quick, met my cousins, went up to the room, got out of my airplane outfit into something cuter for dinner. We went to a restaurant called Del Frisco's. I always want to call it Del Chico's, but that's not it. So Del Frisco's was off the strip. We took an Uber, and it was restaurant week in Vegas, which, I love food. I love putting food into my stomach. There was the restaurant week menu, like you have your appetizer, your entree, and your dessert. And we each got to choose, oh wait, there were sides too. So we each chose something different and we shared, and it was so much food, so much food. We had our leftovers packed up to bring back to the hotel room, but we didn't have a fridge in our hotel room that we could use. And then we also didn't have a microwave to heat up our leftovers. So we ended up throwing away our leftovers. And it's just like, one of the things that I learned in Vegas is how much food is probably wasted there. Like the whole restaurant week is like, oh, you know, proceeds from the restaurant week menu are going to go help feed people, but we're going to overfeed you in the process and then throw away all this food. And I'm like, okay, so this is a thought that I'm having. Shouldn't Vegas, like the restaurants in Vegas, shouldn't they donate, you know, their extra food to people in need? But then also, wouldn't that bring in like a big homeless influx that they probably, you know, don't want for, you know, the reputation of the vacation place? It's just a sad, jumbled up, confusing predicament. And that's what I have to say about that. But after that, we went back to our hotel room. Cousin truly was not feeling great. So she decided to stay back at the hotel. But me and cousin Leah decided we're gonna go out and just putter around and see what happens. There's like a 99% chance that we went to the bar and just like played the little blackjack thing. Also, another thing I learned, vodka soda with orange. I guess it's probably the closest you can get to drinking water with your cocktail. That is my cousin's drink of choice, and I just tagged along. I have not drank a lot at all over the course of the last several years. I just don't like being tired and cranky at home. I'm a far better drinker when I don't have anybody to take care of. And I did probably drink like more over the course of that 4 or 5 day period than I have in like the last 3 or 4 years. But I was okay because I was drinking vodka and water with orange, so I don't get scurvy. So that was the cocktail of choice. In case you were curious, I've learned that is a safe route. Not necessarily the most exciting beverage, I suppose, but I did not have any hangover at all, which I have a huge fear of. I spent basically 90% of my 18th year hungover. So we did that, and then we walked from the MGM to New York, got a drink at the Circle Bar. A man I didn't have great feelings about started talking to us. So I left with my cousin. We left together. We went to the MGM Park. And then I was kind of like pittering out, like I was ready to go back to the room and go night-night. But she's like, there's this bar club thing called On the Record that was in the MGM Park. She's like, do you want to just go in and look around? And I'm like, ooh, okay. So we went in and just to look around, but then I was like, I really like this place. This is cool. They have free pinball and a very sticky dance floor and a double-decker bus. Let's stay here. Also a little speakeasy. It was really cool. And I wish I would have gotten more like videos and pictures, but I was just living in the moment. Some of you were like, yeah, do a Vegas vlog, but like also focus on yourself, which I did. So we danced and it was fun. And then we left. And what did we do after that? We did rock, paper, scissors to decide if we went back to the room or go back out. And it landed on go back out, but we went back to the room, which was a good call because the next morning I woke up and my heart was beating very fast. Like not emergency fast, but it was just like I could tell that my body was trying to process the fun that I had had the night before, and it was not accustomed to that. So we got up, got ready, went to the pool, 107 degrees. It was so freaking hot. It was so hot. So hot that I did SPF 50 and I didn't even get a tan. We did the lazy river, did a few loops around the lazy river, which I love. I don't feel like I can ever stay at any other hotel in Vegas just because the MGM has the best pool situation. Like I don't want to just sit or float in a pool. I want to do laps. So we got in our water aerobics, we got in our exercise because, you know, we're healthy, even though we're drinking a delicious cucumber cooler beverage that is not a health drink. So we did that for a while, and then we were like, it's way too hot, let's leave. Also, I just kept thinking about lunch. I just wanted to go there to eat. I wanted to eat all the food. We went to this pizza place on our way. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm going to put it in the description. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to list all the places that I ate at that were delicious. And I got this, it was a fungi pizza, and it was just a delicious mushroom perfection. So got a slice of pizza, went back up to the room. I laid down. I did not fall asleep, but it was just nice to be horizontal for, 20 minutes. And then I closed my eyes for a while, opened them back up. I was awake. My cousin Leah had gone back down to the bar because her favorite thing in the world, I think, is to play blackjack and talk to her favorite bartenders. So that is where Truly and I met her after we got ready. And what did we do after that? We met her there, we played the thing, and I was like, what are we gonna eat? What are we gonna eat? What are we gonna eat? Because I was so freaking hungry. And so we went on a big long walking journey. I think we were at the Aria, and Javier's was the name of this Mexican restaurant. Mwah, mwah, mwah. So good. I got a chili relleno with an enchilada and a crispy taco, which I didn't eat the crispy taco because it was dry. And normally, like, I will eat something if I don't like it, if I'm still hungry, but I couldn't do it. I annihilated my plate. I still on vacation eat like I'm at home. Like, I'm like, I need to get my food in my mouth because I have to take care of everybody, so you just like shove all your food in. But oh gosh, it was so good. My mouth is watering. I kind of want to cry because it was just so delicious. And what did we do after that? Just so much walking. Oh, we got on a tram and we took it to, was it the Bellagio? No, it was the Cosmopolitan. We took it to the Cosmopolitan. We found this wee little speakeasy. My cousin knew where it was, but it was like a ski lodge, and it was so cool. It was like you walk in, and obviously it's cold because they have to use air conditioning, but it's like an 80s themed ski lodge, and they had amazing cocktails. And then we left, and we walked some more, and we walked some more, and we walked around the Aria. No, it was the Cosmopolitan. So if you've been to the Cosmopolitan, you've seen the chandelier bar. Every time I go to Las Vegas and I walk past this chandelier bar, I need to know who is cleaning that. Obviously somebody is dusting that, but I want to know, how much are you getting paid? Just the amount of cleaning that goes into Las Vegas. Probably a lot of people are throwing up, but also the dusting of that chandelier. I just cannot wrap my head around it. Okay, so we walked around. We did not go to the chandelier bar. We just walked past it and we're like, who cleans that? We found the restaurant STK, which my cousin had been to before. We decided to go there the next day. What did we do? Walked some more, made our way to the Bellagio. The Bellagio is a very beautiful, fun hotel. I did not get to see as much of the fountains as I would have liked to, but also, like, we made it there, and at that point, like, we had done so much walking. It's like, no, I don't want to walk anymore. No, just that whole city is a whole dang maze. At some point, we've made it to Caesar's Palace, and like, mind you, I wasn't like drunk at all during this period of time. Like, I had a cocktail at some point, but I just don't know where we went because we did so much walking, and I was generally lost a lot of the time. I could have found my way back. I really could have. I think we took an Uber back to the hotel. And did we go back out at that point? The next day, we decided not to go to the pool because it was so stinking hot. We got up, we got ready.
Like real heavy laws about.
Oh, there goes another mattress.
We went to the Primrose at the MGM Park, and it is just the cutest restaurant. I feel like interior design wise, it just perfectly captures the level of dark and moody combined with light and airy that I try to achieve in interior design. Like, it's so hard to find the perfect meeting place of those two styles. It was also the perfect meeting place for the shrimp and grits that effed me up. The shrimp and grits were so good. It was really delicious, but I also had an amazing cocktail at a very early hour of the day and coffee. And it was just so heavy. And the amount of heartburn that I had after that was pretty excruciating. Also, with further analyzing the interior design of the MGM Park, which I remember it was like back in 2018, I think that they redesigned it. It was before COVID. I was like, oh my gosh, this is just the most amazing like crossover of like traditional and antique design with like modern whatever the heck. And I think, did a bunch of millennial women just stay at the MGM Park, and that's where you guys all got the idea to paint the wall behind your bed green? Is that where that came from? I really just strongly feel the interior design trends that have just really been picking up speed over the course of the last like 2-3 years Is it just because everybody stayed at the MGM park and that's where you're getting your inspiration from? Because I felt inspired. I think that's certainly a possibility of what happened. If you've stayed there, let me know what you think about that theory of mine. So after we had breakfast, what did we do? We went back to the room because we needed to figure out tickets for Absinthe, the circus show thing that we were going to go see that night. And then we were going to get ready for that and go out to dinner at STK. So this was our going out night. We're going to the fancy restaurant. We're going to the show. So this is the night that I wear the dress. You know, the dress, if you were here a couple weeks ago when I packed for Vegas, the one with the weird slit situation.
Look at me, I'm fancy. I told my husband, like, I'm not trying to look good for anybody but myself. But if I could just get like somebody to just give me a double take. Let me know I still got it. Don't come and talk to me. Leave me alone. But you can look at me a second time if you'd like. So that's this outfit.
My phone literally thought I was not me. It put my phone on stolen mode. It was like, who's this hot chick that has Aubrey's phone? We don't know who she is. It must be stolen. Which was, I think, the most flattering compliment that I received the entire time. Also possibly an insult. I haven't decided. But I did look fancy. And of course, I did not get a picture of me that night. But I was going to wear it with my Vivaya flats, which proved to not be an option. I wore them with my white Keds, and it was actually just the perfect combination of like sexy athletic. I got a few compliments that may or may not have gone to my head, and I made sure to let my husband know that I do indeed still got it. So we got ready, went to STK, saw a rapper who currently has a residency at the Vegas, which was like, I don't care, but also it was like, is that, I feel like I can't say because I'm like, I don't want to invade their privacy. But the waiter was like, when we were like, do famous people come here? He was like, why, do you think you see somebody? So it's just like we don't care, but we're also like, somebody with way more money than us. Also, the food at STK was absolutely delicious. So good, especially the cake at the end. Amazing. So we had to boot, scoot, and boogie real quick after that to Absinthe, the show that we went and saw. And it was cool. The cocktail that I got there was so amazing. It was called the Yum Yum, which it was yum yum. It was so good. There was even the snack of an orchid at the end, which the middle part is actually really freaking gross. So that show, it was good. It was cool. There was just, like, I love a good dirty joke. I love a good dirty joke. A lot of it was really raunchy, like the comedy side of it. And it was funny, but it was just like, wow, this has been going on for a really long time. Like, can we just move on to the part where like the hot guy rides the unicycle with the chick on his arms? Anyway, it was cool. It was a good show. If I was seeing that with my parents, I would have ran away crying. It would have been like hands down the most embarrassing thing of my entire life. So that was Monday night. And so of course there was like nothing open like club wise. So we ended up at this hotel, the Cromwell, which I just feel like it's like, oh, Mr. Cromwell was my biology teacher in high school. He wasn't. I don't know who Mr. Cromwell is, but that's just what the name of that hotel reminded me of. My cousin Leah started playing craps. So Truly and I, like, we just went to the bar, like did the blackjack thing. Leah played craps for a really long time. So long to the point that when she had to go to the bathroom, I had to take over. And this whole time I'm like checking my pulse because I was so stressed out. Even though I was under the influence and I should have been brave, I was still very stressed out. But like, everybody at the table was either really helpful or probably pretty annoyed at me because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But then she came back, took over playing craps. Also, I learned a bit about Las Vegas construction because Leah spent so long at the craps table that we started getting cold and had to go outside to warm up in the 98-degree weather at 2 a.m., which is apparently when in Vegas they do all of their construction work. So like I took some videos of the excavators for the boys because like, well, especially Alec right now is really into excavators. and construction equipment. I like asked some questions so I could show them on the videos like what they were doing. I was like, hey, do you guys know who Blippi is? Let's sing the excavator song. So when Leah finally stopped playing craps and Truly and I stopped having to interact with random people, we went back to our room, and it was quite a journey. I wanted to walk because I needed to walk. I'm like, I need to metabolize the liquid that is in my body. So we found a place that served really disgusting sandwiches, got an Uber back to our hotel. The lady only made a wrong turn 3 times or something like that. And then we made it to the second sandwich shop of the night, the Subway at the MGM, got a sandwich, went back to our room. So Tuesday morning, that was Truly's last day. We hung out at the pool for a little bit. Truly had to leave to go catch her flight. Leah and I stayed there for a little bit longer, and then we ended up making our way back to the hotel room, got ready, and then what did we do? What did we do? I need to reference pictures. Oh, now I remember. We got ready. We went down to the bar with blackjack again. We were going to just go there, get a drink, and then go to LaLa Noodle at MGM Park. Gosh, I just keep thinking about that place. It was so good. So we got a drink and we tried to get a reservation, but they were like, oh, you can't get in with because we have to sit in the section of my cousin's favorite server. So we couldn't get in until 8, but we decided to go there a little bit early to see if we could get in early. At that point, the guy brought us another drink and then brought us another drink. So by the time we made it to the restaurant and we were able to get in an hour and a half early, thank goodness, because I had literally only eaten another piece of the mushroom pizza for breakfast. So I was running on all vodka soda and orange. So when we got there and sat down, I think that the server could see my state of distress. And she was like, I'm gonna bring you guys some hot and sour soup with rice on the house. So she brought us some hot and sour soup, gave us some rice, and she's like, let me know if you need more rice. Let me know if you need more rice. It was so sweet. So we had the hot and sour soup. Oh, it was so amazing. It was so, so good. And then the Mongolian beef and the Singapore noodles, we gobbled that up. And by the time we left, after all that food in our bellies and a good, nice big glass of water, I was generally completely sober again, which felt good because I was very concerned there for a moment. But I mean, I guess that is just Vegas for you. So we were gonna try and see a show, but there wasn't anything because it was Tuesday night. I guess Monday, Tuesday is, the entertainers weekend. That's kind of when I did a little bit of my souvenir shopping for the boys. But after that, we decided that we were just gonna go back to our room, get in bed early so we could get up and go have breakfast before we had to go to the airport. We went to sleep, had a good sleep. I woke up to a text message from my husband though saying that he was probably going to have to leave that same day that I got back to travel for work. And I was like, are you kidding me? He did not end up having to leave, thank goodness. So we woke up, we didn't have enough time to go out to breakfast. Also, the place that we were going to go to was closed. So we just went to the airport, had an uneventful meal at an airport restaurant, got on our flight, came home. I watched the Barbie movie on the way home. I cried when it got to the part where she realized that it wasn't the teenager that was playing with her, that it was just the sad, tired mom with all these sad, dark feelings. Oh, that little napkin that they give you on flights, I soaked that all up. It was just drenched. And I tried really hard to choose a movie that wasn't going to make me cry, but it did make me cry. Also, we all got sick. And if you know the kind of sick that I'm talking about, that's the sick that we got. It may have possibly been brought with by one of us. It wasn't me. But I mean, there is a possibility that it could have been acquired while in the Vegas. But I'm hanging in there okay. The day after I got home, I was all right. And then the day after that, I laid on the couch pretty much all day. Really just sore body, kind of stuffy nose. And today is, I guess, day 5 of me not feeling normal. I also have a weird rash. Has that ever happened to anybody? But today I feel Like, I'm making good progress. I've been taking my immune boost tincture, been taking like a ton of vitamin C and vitamin D. I've eaten a gallon of hot and sour soup over the course of the last 2 days. And I'm feeling today like I actually want to do something, which is going to be next week's video. Ultimate declutter reorganization of the kitchen. But I wanted to really have the chance to sit down and talk and tell you guys all about my trip and just how amazing I feel after. I like to think that maybe my family missed me and might appreciate me a little bit more. But since I have been back, Josh has been like enforcing these like family cleans. I guess enforcing sounds like kind of aggressive, but it's just like, no, you know, we're not going to move on to whatever you guys want to do until, you know, we have the house cleaned. And he was like telling the boys, you know, do you see all this stuff that we just cleaned up? Like, mom cleans up all this stuff after we all go to bed normally. And so, you know, now that it's summer vacation, we're all going to be doing this stuff together. And just like 20 minutes of a little bit of whining, but like ultimately getting help from Jackson, specifically Alec. I mean, he's 2, we can really only expect so much help from him. It really made a huge difference, and I'm hoping that that's something that we'll be able to continue to implement over the course of the summer vacation. Oh gosh, I also forgot to tell you guys. Okay, my health issues that I was talking about. At one point during one of the days, I can't remember which one, I got a call from my doctor. They were like, hey, we got your cortisol labs in, you have low cortisol. So, which I thought it was just going to be through the roof. But I mean, I guess the low cortisol makes sense why I have been like agonizingly tired over the course of the last however long it's been since I've had low cortisol. I don't know, but I'm going to start taking an adrenal complex supplement. I don't know. I'm going to start taking something to help my adrenal fatigue that I apparently have. So I'm looking forward to that, but adding electrolytes into my water and drinking that first thing in the morning has already really helped. So I'm hoping that with that electrolyte water in the morning and the adrenal complex that I will be like right as rain, because like otherwise my labs were all really good. I feel like I've just talked so much. So I'm gonna go finish getting dressed for the day, and I'm gonna switch gears, go tackle the kitchen, which I will tell you about next week. That's going to be next week's video. I feel excited to do things in my house again, and that is awesome. That is so, so good. I needed that trip. So thank you all again for tagging along with me for another video. Thank you for sticking around while I was in my slump. I appreciate you all. I will see you in the next one. As always, I love you. Have fun and be kind.